Welcome back to another segment of Behind the Scenes of the Waltons. Today I'm going to be talking about episode 7 from season 8, The Journal. The Journal was written by Robert Piroche and directed by Philip Leacock. John and Olivia are having a difficult time dealing with not having any information about John Boy ever since they found out that he was missing in action. They're just worried. Olivia doesn't know what to do, and she feels like she can't just keep doing nothing. So John suggests they go into Rockfish and talk to the Red Cross, which they do, and they encounter a woman, Mrs. Denman, who is helpful, but she isn't able to give him any particular information. And she says, there's channels, but no information seems to be forthcoming. And so this is, for people who are waiting and feel helpless, it's just a very difficult time for them. When they get back from Rockfish, Rose tells them that there was a call from Mr. Henshaw who wanted them to call no matter what time they got back. They call, he wants to see them. So they arrange a meeting for the next day. When he arrives, he basically says that he is with a publishing company, that John Boy had sent a manuscript to the company in hopes that they might publish it. And it is a journal, a GI journal about his observations over in Europe as a reporter for the Stars and Stripes. And they were interested in publishing it. And when they tried to contact John Boy, they found out that he was missing in action. So he is there because as his parents, John and Olivia, could sign on his behalf and give them permission to publish it. Olivia, this just like freaks her out because she feels like that is as if to say that they are his surviving heirs or something like that. And she feels that that is like saying he's not coming back, that he's gone. And she doesn't want to have anything to do with that. So they send him away and he says, please let me know if you change your mind. The next time John and Olivia speak with Mrs. Denman with the Red Cross, they find out the only additional information she has is that it's been discovered that he was an observer on a bombing mission and the plane was shot down over Belgium. And from there, they have no idea what happened. So this is good news, bad news. They're not saying he's dead, but they're also saying they don't know where he might be. A package arrives, and it is from Mr. Henshaw, and it is John Boy's journals. And there's like sections of them. And so John and Olivia start reading various different sections of it. And as they're talking about, as she's reading John Boy's observations and talking about this crew that has been on a number of bombing missions, and they are recognizing that perhaps their number is up, that because they have survived so many missions that the odds are no longer in their favor. And it was with this crew that John Boy decided to go as an observer. And there's some, I think, lovely black and white footage of very effective, like a bomb mission, and footage on the ground and things like that really give us a visual sense of what he's talking about in his observations of the war. And because of this, Olivia and John agree that they feel that this is important information, and in this story and this firsthand account of it, that it might somehow help other people to understand what's going on. So they feel like they really do need to agree to let this manuscript be published. In the other storyline, it revolves around Reckless, our lovely dog that we've had since season 1. Now, of course, it was 2 different dogs that played Reckless. Originally, Reckless was a boy. And then when that dog died, they had another dog that looked a lot like that same Reckless. And this one was a girl. And this was the one that actually had puppies at one point. And so there was never any explanation of Reckless going from being a boy to a girl, or whether we somehow got another dog that we just also named Reckless. I think they were sort of giving the illusion that it was the same dog. and perhaps like a lot of things, hoping the audience would not notice that the dog had changed sexes. But Reckless is not doing well, and Jeffery is worried about him. And Ben's trying to say, oh, no, she'll be fine. And you should go to school. And I'm sure when you get back, she'll be fine. And Mary Ellen is sitting there with John Curtis listening to this and saying, you really shouldn't lie to Jeffery that that's not good. When he finds out that that's not true, it's going to be even tougher. And Ben is beginning to have concerns about whether or not he'll be a good parent and how to be a good parent. And, Mary Ellen just, kind of gives him some advice. And it was, I think, some nice moments between the two of them as Ben began to learn some of these lessons for himself that Mary Ellen very much had to learn for herself too, as she has been raising John Curtis. Turns out Ben took Reckless to the vet. The vet said she's in a lot of pain and she should be euthanized. And he brings her back. Jeffery doesn't want to hear this. He's like, no, she's going to be fine. So Jeffery gets up very early the next morning. He's packed a little knapsack. He's going to take the dog out and take her someplace where she can get better and where he feels like she'll be safe. So they go head up into the woods, and at some point, Reckless. Now, the dog is wagging her tail at times and stuff. So clearly the dog was fine, and they were doing their best to. She's a really well-trained dog. So she was playing pain and not feeling well and lying down really well. But once in the woods, she sees a rabbit and takes off after it. And Jeffrey's trying to chase her and can't catch up with her. He runs back home and says she's gone, and he lost track of her. So Mary Ellen and Ben go out to try and help him find her. They do find Reckless, and she's dead. And Ben explains how, a lot of times when animals know that they're near the end of their life, they will go off on their own to die, that it's an instinct. But he says that what Jeffery needs to keep in mind is that she had a happy day at the end. She felt young and chased a rabbit, and so that she was happy in the end, and that she's not in pain anymore. So it's a tough lesson for Jeffery, but it's a growing and learning moment for Jeffery and for Ben. Another sweet little series of scenes involved Amy and Elizabeth and Serena, who were all knitting and creating different things. Amy and Elizabeth are knitting for soldiers, and Serena is knitting something for like a baby blanket for Ben and Cindy's baby. In this episode, Joe Conley, Ronnie Claire were back as Ike and Cora Beth. Keith Mitchell and Martha Nix were back as Serena and Jeffery. Peggy Ray back as Aunt Rose. Rachel Longacre, good to have her back again as Amy Godsey. And of course, Leslie Winston, who was a wonderful regular fixture around the house around about now. Then our guests were Richard Venture, who played Paul Henshaw, Diana Douglas, who played Mrs. Denman, and Lila McCarthy, who played Miss Fisk, who was Mrs. Denman's assistant. Thank you for joining me for this overview of the episode The Journal from Season 8. I'll be back with more behind the scenes of the Waltons. If you're enjoying these, please do hit like and subscribe. I'll see you next time with maybe more of your questions, maybe more special guests. Who knows? Thanks for watching.